Kyle, I'm very excited to be chatting with you today. This is Kyle Kamrooz. Did I get that right, Kyle?
Mm-hmm.
From Bonus Homes,
Yep.
co-founder and CEO. This is a distinct way to think about equity in homes, and quite tremendously so. And I'm like excited. I know, Kyle, we talked about before on a brief call, but I'm like, ooh, I haven't seen this model before. I think it's super interesting. So how would you articulate what Bonus Homes is after in achieving?
So two things. Number one, it's an alternative to really selling your home.
Mm-hmm.
So it allows people to not have to give up their largest, most, I would say, important asset, which is their home,
Mm-hmm.
which is, by the way, an appreciating asset, right?
Yes,
Unlike a
it's
car.
hopefully getting better and better versus going down like a car. Yeah.
And you always win on a house in the long run. You
Mm-hmm.
always win, even if if you look back at 2008, 2009, and even the worst crash we've had in decades,
Mm-hmm.
you still win if you just held on to it. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to offer an alternative by basically saying that selling doesn't have to be the only way to move. So to unlock all of your equity and to move today, selling is the main way for most people. And so
And then
we're
you get
like,
hit with taxes and a bunch of other things. So it's a painful way sometimes.
yeah.
Unless
So
you roll it over or whatever. Yeah. But
the goal is that you sell and you move on to a bigger house or you move whatever, just life happens. And but that home that you sold for $500,000, $400,000 is now in 15 years is worth 800,000, and you missed out on all that, right? And so look at it as the analogy is like you sold Google stock too early.
Yeah.
And I'm using Google as an example, but you that's what it is. And so what we're trying to, just because you need to move, right? And so
Yes.
just because you need the liquidity, you shouldn't have to give up an asset. And if you think about the world, so that's really what we're doing, right? And if you think about the world today, what do wealthy people have as really a superpower? They have the ability to hold on to assets. They don't need to sell assets in order
You
for
borrow against assets.
things to borrow against assets, but also like, if you have a house and you've got disposable cash, you don't need the money out of your house. You can you can leave it as a second home. You can leave it as an Airbnb. You can leave it vacant. It's not bothering you because you can use the money to do it, and you can just let it ride and let that house grow in value. That's the reason why, if you think about most of the wealthy, if you think about most of the, I would say, wealth created in our country, it's the number one way is holding on to real estate. But majority of the country, 85% of the country, they don't have that ability.
So you have all introduced something, what you're calling HAP, the Home Appreciation Partnership.
Right.
A new way to cash out without missing out. So explain more.
Basically, you cash out all your equity as if you sold it.
Yeah.
You're not selling the property. And you save on costs. You don't have to list the home, have a buyer come in and show the property around and hopefully get an offer. You basically cash out your equity in a couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and you move out. You're going to move out anyways.
Yep.
And then what Bonus does, as kind of like a HAP administrator, we end up managing that home as a rental that you still own. So we don't take title. We don't assume your mortgage. This is your property. We're just a steward of your asset. Right? We're managing your asset for you, just like someone's managing your stock portfolio. We're managing the home. We manage the rental. We take care of all the maintenance. We pay all the payments on your behalf. You don't pay another dime on that property. And then after 5 years, up to 30 years, you can decide whenever to sell it. So,
up to the house is, okay, got it.
Yeah, it's a long-term hold. So,
yeah,
if the market is slow for the next 5-6 years, that's okay. You just wait. There's no hindrance on your ability to go buy a new property. Nothing. Your life just keeps moving on. You're not losing anything by doing this. You can still do everything you need to do. You can go buy another property. You can go, and then you now have the money that you can go spend. Not alone. This isn't debt. It's truly us making an investment in your home for your equity. And then we now partner as the Home Appreciation Partnership. We now partner in sharing the future upside together. So let's take a $500,000 house, $300,000 mortgage. Mortgage stays in place, most likely because it has a low interest rate on it.
Yep.
So you don't want to get rid of that.
Right now. No, you did not.
Well, and that's the thing right now. If you think about it, 40 million people right now have two amazing assets that they own, which is number one, the interest rate, and number two, the home.
I
And
know.
they happen to be tied together. So
Yeah.
so
Like,
in a nutshell, what we're doing is we're saying you're going to give up two things when you sell the home. Bonus is basically letting you keep those two things so you can maximize and make more money later on as well. And so you
mhm.
take a $500,000 house, $300,000 mortgage, you cash out $200,000. Bonus gives you $200,000. We invest in the home. You move out. Um, you have a rental property. You can still qualify for a new mortgage. That's not a problem. We partner with some of the largest lenders in the country. You
Mhm.
can still get a new home or a new home builder, buy a house on the market, whatever you want to do. You can go rent. We don't care what you do. You take your
Yeah.
$200,000 and you live
Bye
your
bye.
life.
Yeah.
Go live your life. And then now you've got a passive investment. And then after 5 years, Bonus is now managing this, renting the property, doing everything. Okay. You're basically out of sight, out of mind. So it's truly a passive investment for you, kind of like a
Mhm.
401k.
A
401k,
bit. Yeah. You just stuff
you
it
just,
and you forget it. Hopefully. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
And it grows in value. And so on the flip side, what you get is in addition to the 200K in this example, you'll get up to a third of all the appreciation on this asset for doing nothing and paying nothing. So imagine, Beck, that you have your house is 500,000 and you're in, Phoenix, Arizona, or you're in
Mhm.
Nashville or whatever. Um, you now in 10 years, your house is probably going to be worth, let's just, $800,000.
Yep.
Okay. Now you got 200,000 in 2025,
Mhm.
and now it's 2035. Let's just say, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're going
Okay.
to get 800 minus 500. That's 300,000 of appreciation, multiplied by 33%. So that's about $100,000.
Not bad. Of
Okay, minus some of the closing costs because you're going to sell the
course.
property. So you'll net out 90 grand,
Mhm.
85,000 for doing absolutely nothing.
Wait.
Absolutely
Oh,
nothing.
but wait a second. But you do have to sell eventually.
Yeah, you the homeowner, eventually you want to sell because you want to liquidate that home. That's the way we all get paid out.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the catch for bonus of like how are you guys making the money is this
We
is a
make the
long term
money.
type thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we make the money in two aspects, right? We rent it, so we're obviously getting the rental
Mhm.
cash flow, but
Mhm.
we're also managing that property and taking on all the risk of that property.
Mhm.
We're never coming back to you, Beck, and saying, hey, how's it going? Well, guess what? The HVAC blew up, and we only have $3,000. We need you to pay another 6,000. That'll never
Mm.
happen. We
Mhm.
cover every expense. So that's why we are very, very disciplined on focusing on homes that we think are going to appreciate in the long run, and
Yes.
also that make good rental properties. What makes a good rental property? The families can come live in there.
Turnkey,
Easy.
great neighborhood. Mhm.
That's exactly right. Good
Mhm.
school.
Mhm.
Nothing too massive, right? A
Mhm.
lot of land to take care of,
Mhm.
stuff like that, right? And so that's it. And so now in 8, 9, whatever, 8, 10 years, and that's just one example. I mean, you keep it longer, that money just compounds, right?
Yeah,
Now you got 200 today, and in this example, you got 80 to $90,000 for doing nothing later on. That's a lot of money.
that
90
is.
grand for doing nothing, and basically, no cost for you during that decade. You're basically it's a passive investment.
Mhm.
So if you think of it, it's like a home 401k. The difference is you don't have to wait till you're 59 and a half, like a 401k, in order to
Yeah.
cash out.
Yeah.
Here you can cash out much sooner, but it's the same principles. The longer you hold it, or as an example, Social Security. What happens if you wait? If you cash in on your Social Security at 65, you're going to get a certain amount.
Yeah.
If you if you wait until
Penalty.
70, if you wait till 70,
You get more.
you're going to get way more. And
Exactly.
so it's just rewarding time, and bonus is basically rewarding time on an asset that people can't can't keep. And
Yeah.
so instead
Yeah.
of stocks and bonds, look at bonus as basically the alternative, but doing it for your house. It's the
Mhm.
same principles. You hold on to an appreciating asset in the long run, you're gonna win. The
Mhm.
longer you hold it, the more you're gonna make money.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's no different than the
Now,
stock market. That's no different than retirement
that's right.
portfolios.
And compounding time, the benefit of that. Okay. Now, you, Kyle, have been an investor in a handful of other companies and
Yep.
also, general partner. So you're an investor in various things. And now you're sucked back into, I don't want to say maybe sucked back into, but you're compelled to do this company full time. So what was it where you're like, I got to do this? Because the path is often not the investor going like, you know what I'd love to do? I love to start get back in the trenches. It's usually the opposite. You get out of the trenches and you're now an investor. I sit on a board and a handful.
Yeah, that's right.
I have fun.
That's right.
It's usually that direction.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
And I would say the short answer, this has been a passion of mine for about a decade, really. And it all started with my father, immigrant from Iran, never bought a house. Finally, after 25 years, bought a house, had to sell it in 2010 because he needed the 200,000 or 150,000 of equity. He told me, he's like, this house, you watch, mark my words, you know how your parents said, mark my words, this house will be worth double in 10 years. And he was right. My dad missed out on $400,000 to $500,000 of wealth creation just because he needed the 200,000, 150,000 today to go buy a new property. And my dad's 74 years old and has no retirement, or has very little retirement compared to what he could have had.
Yeah. So
and this is the fundamental problem, right? We have a retirement crisis, and I know housing, my background's been in real estate. My world has been housing. I sold my last software company in housing and real estate. We automated the mortgage process. I sold that. So yeah, I could have rode on in my, whatever, and chilled and, had some nice margaritas. But I really,
you're like, no, put the margarita down.
Yeah, I mean, I put in a lot of money into this company as well, my own thing, because I really believe in it. And so this has just been a passion of mine. And so for me, I think that's what adds it, is because, I've been a founder before. I've had exits. I've been able to invest, like you said, in other companies and other founders. And I love that. And to step back into this lifestyle, which is brutal. And the early days, I mean, we started 2.5 years ago, give or take, but really we started end of last year, and we started really just like doing homes end of last year. It has been eating like you feel like you're eating glass every day. It's been brutal, right? And some days you want to shoot yourself. Some days you're happy. Some days you realize, do you think this is going to work? Some days you don't. It's the founder.
It's founderitis. That's what I call it.
It's the founderitis. So it is tough.
It is like you cannot help. You have you just are compelled to.
You're compelled, but you're also a little crazy.
You are, right? You're all psycho. Yeah, it takes.
You're a little crazy.
So, yes.
Yeah. And I mean, look, I'm 45 years old, and so like for me, again, I don't. Retirement sounds interesting. I don't know what that means for me personally. I don't know how
you kill yourself because it's too boring.
This is something that I feel is necessary. No one has solved it. We've cracked the code on how to do it legally and efficiently in the best interest of the consumer. That's the reason why I'm also in DC. I mean, we've met with congressional leaders and stuff because we want people to know about this. We want people to know what it is and what it's not, right?
But let's go into that, because more and more folks are marching around DC and doing the Hill and all this stuff. So what is the interest in that? Are you advocating to Congress? And what are we doing?
Well, one of the things is that we are making them aware. We've met with we have congressional leaders and Senate leaders and so forth, and different departments. More will come out, more news will come out. But what we've been trying to do is, hey, this is something new. And again, if you think about what's going on right now, we have a lock-in effect, which means that so many people have these low interest rates.
They can't
interest rates are high.
Yeah. You can't.
Well, not only can they get out, they may be able to get out, but they don't want to because they have a 3%, and then now they're going to 6%. So at least what we're able to do is say, listen, your 3% that you have, you realize that it's valuable. Yes, I do. Okay, great. What if you can still move on with your life and keep that 3% and have it work for you? Now that becomes interesting, because remember, most people today have to get rid of the 3% to go buy a new home, and then now they're going to 6%. If we can say you get to keep that and lever it and turn this into an investment property and get an opportunity of a lifetime by being able to cash out twice, you're going to be able to do that. So that's very important to this administration and to the country right now, because we have no mobility. The homes that we bonus, we call them bonus members. These are people, a lot of them are people that, yes, wanted to move, but these are a lot of people that now are like, I have a 2.25%, 3%. I have all these things. And now they just like, they're taking advantage of the opportunity of being able to do this, right? That's one is mobility. And the reason why that's important to the administration in the moment. But the long term also is we have a retirement crisis. The average
Sure
savings
thing.
today is under $5,000 for middle America. This is a middle class product. This is a product helping people. We're not doing houses that are $1 million, $2
Yeah,
million,
yeah,
$5 million
yeah,
houses.
yeah.
This is 500,000 in home value and below, all the way down to 250. This is everyday people who need the equity out of their house in order to move on with life. And just because they don't have disposable cash, they miss out on holding on to an appreciating asset, right? Which we're trying to do. So if you think about why this is so appealing to DC, is we're kind of a little bit of a Robin Hood for the middle class when it comes to housing.
Yeah, but in the housing market. What
That's
have
right.
you changed your mind on recently, Kyle, if
Yeah.
anything?
On everything in life. No, just kidding. I think when you say change my mind, you mean in terms of just me as a just in
Yeah, just
general.
you as a person. You
Yeah.
can take it to business, but yeah, whatever your thoughts are.
I've learned to. I got a tattoo on my arm that says Carpe Diem, and I got
Yeah.
that for a long time because I thought it was cool. I actually am living that mantra now, which is just be present. Don't time travel. What if I did this? How do I do this?
Oh,
Right?
I like that.
Um,
Like, don't time travel. You
yeah,
just said it
yeah.
right now.
Regret is mindless.
Yes.
You can't live too past. If I would have done this and done this, I made a bad
Yeah.
decision. What if I
Yeah.
should have done? You
Yeah.
can't live that because you can't live in two.
Yeah.
We don't have that at our disposal.
We do
Um,
not.
so that's my biggest thing is to just stop looking in the past, and stop having regret, and then also just be present. And I've been living that more so, especially with my better half, who just lives like that. Doesn't look at the past, and so that's been something that's been really, really impactful for me.
Oh, do you contribute your shift to that person then? Or a
100%.
big
Oh
part
yeah,
of it?
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
When you got somebody that basically looks at the world as glass half full in everything, and doesn't look in the back. I've never met anyone like this before, and it's just like it's kind of almost like a I don't even know how to describe it, but it's almost like just joy when you kind of have that. It doesn't mean that she doesn't have bad days,
Of course
but
not.
her mindset of I made a lot of mistakes, but I'm just gonna keep moving forward. I don't have regret. I'm gonna move forward. It's pretty powerful. And I've learned a
I'd
lot from
agree.
her. Yeah, I've learned a lot from her to just
What's
be
her
able
name? Let's
to
do a
do that.
shout out.
Yeah, to Jessica.
Jessica, bring in
Yes.
the Jess. There you go. High five to Jess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so that's probably the biggest thing, and it helps right now too. And the other piece I will say that I've learned too, fitness helps also your mindset. And so for me, I
Kyle.
work out.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. If you're over, I'm sorry, 35, you need to be
Yeah, you have to be.
working because the
And
brain
so you
is
got
tied
you,
to
you
that.
got to set time. So I work out 7 days a week. I try to lift a lot of weights. I try to do that. I'm obviously cognizant. I'm not trying to impress anybody, but at the same time, it is unbelievable. Like I have a routine. I've been doing this ever since COVID, where I do about anywhere from 300 to 500 push-ups a day. Okay, and not all at once, but
Yeah.
I try
Yeah.
to get more and more, maybe like 50, whatever. And I got good at it, but I did that during COVID for obvious reasons. You're in the middle of a park, you
Well,
can't go
yeah.
anywhere. I'm
We
just
were
gonna
all
jump on
there.
the grass and do it, right? Do
Yep.
that and some burpees.
Mm.
But my mental discipline has grown exponentially, because of my overall fitness, and just being able to push and get an uncomfortable building muscle.
Yes.
And I encourage that with
High five.
every
I
every,
big
every
about this.
founder.
Big
Yeah,
time. Big time. The
huge.
actual fitness component. I'm a 6 times a week person
Yeah,
with everything. Oh, that is fundamental. You got to lock that
fundamental.
in. That is the brain and energy and so many tied to it. One of my questions I usually like to tee up is what's your unlock? Maybe that's your unlock. I don't know if you want
It
to add
is.
something else to it, but get the physical down pat.
That's right.
Yes, the
Yeah, and
external benefits are great. Yay. But really, I think it's a mental game first.
it's a mental game. And look, I love desserts. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a dessert fiend. I love it. I don't eat always the best food. Um, but if you say discipline on things like taking creatine, okay,
Yeah.
creatine is great. Being able to, on a regular basis, having good good protein, getting your protein
Mhm.
intake in. Those are
Mhm.
just core pieces that if you can do that and work out at least a couple times a week, you're gonna see a difference in not only your gut, you're gonna see a difference in your head and
Oh
everything
yeah.
else, your skin, whatnot. I tell people, it's like I'm 45. People think I look like I'm 30, and I feel like I'm 30, and I've never been
That's
in
the
better
key.
shape in my entire
That's
life.
the
That's the
key.
key.
Oh,
Yeah,
nothing is better, Kyle. Okay, so because I just turned 41 on Monday.
yeah.
Like then
There you go. Happy
feeling,
birthday.
thank you, but like feeling the best that you've ever felt.
And,
Oof. Oof.
what it is and I feel like there's part of me that feels like if I can do that discipline
Yes.
and do things that people can't do, then I can apply that discipline to the business side of my world of my life. And look, no
Mhm.
one's ever done this. Like you said in the beginning, you've never heard of this because no one's ever created this. Creating something that no one's ever heard of is extremely difficult, and because it requires education, it requires confidence, trust, okay, and it has to work, okay.
Yeah.
And so for this past year, that's what we've been doing, and we're going to have education throughout, the years, especially that's why we're also working with the administration as well, because HAPs are good and we want to start educating people and also telling people what it's not, right? It's not debt, it's not some
Mm-hmm.
funky different thing. It's pretty amazing when you really boil down and understand the benefits of it. But that's the, I think, the unlock for me and for a lot of just founders, is to be able to have that as a balance. And you can have time, I don't care what people say, like you could put an hour of your day, okay, 5-6 days a week, and you can
You
still
could,
build a business,
you could still do it.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Honestly, if I was like running an accelerator or something hardcore, to be like, no, we got to gym. You got to be in the gym. You have to be doing this part first before I see you sitting at a desk for 10 hours. You got to do that other part first. I don't
that's
care.
exactly right.
You're gonna run laps. Ooh, maybe that's a new accelerator, Kyle. It's like it's a boot camp physically and
That's
also
right.
mentally because
That's
it's
right.
tied together.
That's
You
right.
can't sit at your
Founder
desk
fitness.
until
Founder
I see you
fitness.
run the mile. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
oh.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Kyle, this has been lovely. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for
Thank
being
you.
on for
Yeah.
today.
Appreciate it.
And cheers to you cranking out a whole new damn category. As I said, we talked before. I'm like, haven't seen this before, and I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
stuff, as you have too. So, HAP, Home Appreciation Partnership. Let's go.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, Beck.